we are traveling to the island of Flores in Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest island nation in the world, and Flores is one of 17,000 islands that belong to the country. Fantastic, unspoilt landscapes and beaches are attracting more and more tourists. In recent decades, society here has undergone profound economic and social change, which has transformed Indonesia forever. Previously, the predominantly Muslim country was characterized by post-colonial structures and the more than 30-year dictatorship of General Suharto. During the decades of dictatorship, a project was founded on the island of Flores by SVD missionaries and SSpS sisters who fought against oppression for justice and peace. The result was a project that continues to offer protection and assistance to thousands of people, especially women, and has an impact far beyond the island TRUK-F. On Flores, we meet Father Leo Cleeden, one of the co-founders of TRUK-F.
And you know, in the 80s or in 90s, Suharto government was very authoritarian, very oppressive, especially to human rights activists, the students, those who are critical to the government. Okay, there were many victims of injustice and oppression at that time.
This situation of oppression and disenfranchisement challenged the missionaries and missionary sisters and led to the founding of the organization.
We, some SVD missionaries, SSpS sisters, and also NGO activists, we decided we have to make an organization or better human movement in order to counter this. And we call it TRUK-F, Tim Relawan untuk Kemanusiaan Flores. Volunteers, Team for Humanity Flores. Flores indicates the island or the place where we start. Not that we limit our activities on Flores.
TRUK-F addressed various social problems during the dictatorship. The missionary sister Eustokia focused primarily on the situations of women and children who are often unprotected and deprived of their rights in patriarchal structures.
And sister realized that there are a lot of domestic violence, okay, sexual harassment, child abuse, human trafficking. So sister said, okay, this women department must remain alive to help these so many victims among women. Okay.
While TRUK-F's political activities receded into the background after the end of the dictatorship, its women's rights department became increasingly active. Unsurprisingly, the end of the dictatorship did not automatically mean that the living conditions of women and children improved.
And this institution, the Women's Rights Department, has survived. This department looks after the interests of women and children. Our vision is to offer protection and to fight for the rights of women and children to be fully recognized and valued by the public. So today, we are still active in offering protection to children and women. We advocate for political measures that are directly related to the realization of the rights of women and children who have been victims of violence or discrimination.
Violence against women, abuse and human trafficking are still widespread in eastern Indonesia, where the island of Flores is located. A very traditional view of the family prevails. Here traditional norms and a lack of enforcement of existing laws exacerbate the problem. However, the dominant factor is economic poverty.
Die armoede is die moeder des verbrechens.
Poverty is the mother of crime. And where economic pressure grows, violence also increases, especially against women and children.
Vor allem gegen Frauen und Kinder.
Father Agatius and Father Fidelis, priests and SVD missionaries from Flores, now work in Germany and are well placed to assess the situation in their homeland. What makes it so difficult to enforce human rights, the rights of women and children?
Ein Punkt, was ist nicht gang und gäbe bei uns hier in Deutschland, bei uns das Problem.
One thing that is not common here in Germany is that we only have one room in our house. That means that the father, mother, children and even adults all sleep in one bed. And that is the problem. Secondly, alcohol plays a major role.
Wenn man unter wirtschaftlichen Druck steht, Männer vor allem,
when people are under economic pressure, especially men, they immediately turn to alcohol, and then violence against women and children increases.
Although the state guarantees women and children rights, state structures offer little protection to women and girls, especially in rural areas where patriarchal village communities hold sway.
Schweigekultur. Was heißt das? Das ist bei uns.
A culture of silence, what does that mean?
Den vielen Regionen
In many regions of Indonesia, people live in adat communities, which means that everything is a private matter.
Heißt das alles Privatsache? Also Scham und
So shame and silence are already a duty, especially for those affected.
Wichtig ist, dass eine öffentliche Arbeit gemacht wurde.
It is important that public awareness campaigns have been carried out and continue to be carried out. That attention is drawn to the problems of violence, especially against women in families, domestic violence and sexualized violence. This should be a shame for everyone, not that one thinks, I have to preserve the reputation of my family, my village.
TRUK-F wants to counteract this situation. It is thanks to a charismatic missionary, Sister Eustokia, that TRUK-F continues to advocate for the rights of women and children to this day. With her courage and charisma, she captivated young people who enthusiastically support her commitment and continue the work of the founder, who died in 2021.
Sie war tatsächlich wie eine Mutter für alle Menschen.
She was indeed like a mother to everyone. I didn't know her, nor did she know me, but when I called her back then, a close relationship developed. It felt as if we had known each other for many years. As I said, she was like a mother to the people there, to everyone. She was a very courageous woman. Especially at that time, we were in a period of transition from a very military-dominated country where everything was controlled. She was also very politically active. And this courageous woman was a role model for a young student. That's why I held her in such high esteem.
Ketika saya SMA, itu di tahun 2008, saya tamat SMA dan saya memutuskan untuk masuk.
When I was in high school in 2008, I decided to become a missionary after receiving a brochure.
Ada foto Suster Eustokia.
The brochure contained a photo of a sister, Eustokia, holding a baby. I still have that brochure today.
Dan ketika saya menulis lamaran,
when I wrote my application for my first vows, the provincial superior asked me what I wanted to become afterwards.
Kalau engkau nanti setelah ini engkau mau jadi seperti apa?
I said I wanted to be like the sisters who work with Sister Eustokia. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to work like them.
Saya mau jadi seperti, saya mau kerja seperti itu.
Thanks to numerous donations, including from Germany, TRUK-F has grown significantly in recent years. The St. Monica shelter has become a vital refuge for victims of sexual violence. Over 2,000 children and women have been supported here in the past 20 years. The youngest girl was 3, the oldest woman 69 years old. Currently, 17 women and girls live in the women's shelter, including babies and toddlers. After Sister Eustochia's death, Sister Francisca Immaculata continues her work.
Datang ke sini itu memang mayoritas perempuan dan anak-anak yang berasal dari
Most of the women and children who come here are usually from poor families that are vulnerable to various types of violence.
terhadap berbagai macam persoalan kekerasan. Pada umumnya yang datang
Those
ke
who
sini
come here
mereka
do
itu
so because they have
mengalami
experienced violence,
yaitu kekerasan
namely
dalam
domestic
rumah tangga,
violence or sexual
untuk orang
violence.
dewasa, tapi juga kekerasan seksual. Kekerasan
Sexual
itu
violence
terjadi
is
pada
directed
anak, baik itu
against
dalam rumah
adult
tangga
women
maupun
as well
di
as
luar
children,
rumah.
both inside and outside the
Lalu
home.
kemudian,
Whenever there is time, the team meets SSpS missionary sisters, SVD missionaries and staff. One challenge is to inform girls and women where they can find protection and help. There are different ways that those affected find their way to TRUK-F.
itu ada yang datang secara langsung.
Some of
Mereka
them
tahu
come
bahwa di
directly.
sini TRUK-F,
They know that
di sini,
TRUK-F offers a home
rumah
here.
untuk memberikan pemenuhan hak-hak atas keadilan. Mereka melalui telepon, karena beberapa
Others
nomor
call
kami yang staf yang bekerja di situ, di mana tempat kami pergi melakukan sosialisasi.
Social service workers have our phone number. We give them our number and make them aware that they can contact us.
Mereka hubungi.
In the house, the women and girls take care of themselves. They cook and clean together. The project offers women and children protection first and foremost, but also medical care, legal support and educational opportunities. In addition, the organization works with local communities to develop long-term solutions for those affected. Sister Francisca knows how important education is. Education enables girls to become independent. Through better education, they learn about their rights. Perhaps they will themselves become pioneers in the fight for women's rights, social and political equality, free from violence. But it is still very difficult to help girls and women obtain their rights in the first place.
Dan menerima laporan atau pengaduan dari mereka dan mendengarkan apa yang kira-kira mereka butuhkan. Itu. Lalu yang kedua, jika yang datang itu dalam keadaan luka,
If they come to us with bruises or are pregnant as a result of sexual violence, we usually arrange an appointment for a medical examination.
Mengatur jadwal untuk mereka melakukan pemeriksaan kesehatan. Maret 2019 itu kita sudah memiliki lembaga resmi.
We are like an official institution and are not only authorized to provide legal assistance, but are also allowed to represent the women and girls in court. As a last resort, we also offer a safe house service. This is mainly for children who are in an emergency situation that prevents them from staying with their families. Many of the perpetrators come from the immediate family circle, so we offer this service as well.
Karena pelaku itu banyak juga yang berasal dari.
As important as it is for children and girls to receive education and training, it is equally important for adult women to pursue employment that will enable them to live independently and self-sufficiently in the future. The causes of domestic violence can be manifold, but Sister Francisca knows that poverty and alcohol are the main factors.
Pada umumnya, perempuan dan anak-anak yang menjadi korban itu ada berbagai macam latar belakang.
Yes, in general, there are various backgrounds that are typical for women who experience domestic violence.
Mengalami kekerasan dalam rumah tangga, itu biasanya mereka karena suaminya.
In many cases, they become victims when the men are drunk.
Ekonomi dalam rumah tangga mereka itu juga sering
The
menjadi
economic
salah satu
situation in the
faktor
households
pemicu
is also
mengapa
often one of the
kekerasan dalam
triggering
rumah tangga
factors
itu,
for domestic violence.
sering terjadi.
Sister Francisca knows that many of the women arrive too late, only when the situation at home has become unbearable. Physical violence is usually preceded by verbal and psychological abuse warning signs that often go unnoticed.
Nah, ketika itu tidak dilayani, maka tentu kekerasan psikis lewat kata-kata kasar.
First, of course, there is psychological abuse in the form of harsh words or accusations that the woman does not want to serve or obey.
Dan itu sering terjadi. Lalu kemudian kalau
psychological violence is usually followed by physical violence.
Yang ikutan itu adalah kekerasan fisik.
Often the victims arrive with bruises and are very fearful.
Memar dan mereka sangat merasakan.
The situation is particularly difficult for children who are victims of sexual violence. A permanent solution must be found for the children, mostly girls, because children often cannot return to their families. For these girls, TRUK-F becomes a new home.
Banyak anak-anak yang mengalami kekerasan seksual itu
many children also experience sexual violence. It is indeed very difficult to reintegrate them or return them to their families. What we offer to help them live independently is the opportunity to attend school. We convince the girls that if they go to school, they can have a good job later on and thus be independent.
Kalau kamu sudah sekolah, kemudian kamu bisa punya pekerjaan yang baik, maka kamu bisa mandiri.
This permanent accommodation and schooling cost money. But Sister Francisca is certain that she can trust in God and humanity in her efforts. Six girls who live here and go to school currently share this room. It may not be particularly comfortable, but it is a safe place for the girls, who no longer have to fear sexual violence here and can go to school.
Untuk membantu anak-anak yang lain agar ayo kalau kamu punya keinginan untuk sekolah, maka kami akan mencari jalan untuk mendatangkan uang.
We will always find a way to raise money for the girls, to ask donors to help them. And some of the children, about 16 of them now, are going to school, and we are very confident about their future. And we truly believe that if we sincerely do good, God will bless it and send good people. Because there are some who have difficulty returning to their families and have to stay here for quite a long time. And that costs money.
Kami sangat percaya bahwa kalau kita berbuat baik dengan tulus, pasti Tuhan Allah memberkati itu dan pasti akan juga mengirimkan orang-orang yang baik.
The sisters and priests also take to the streets to raise awareness for the concerns of children and women. The aim is to raise public awareness of the problem of violence against women and girls. The suffering of the victims should be brought out of the hidden domestic environment and into the public eye. Sister Francisca works tirelessly for the rights of women and girls. She knows that, in addition to providing direct help, it is equally important to raise awareness of the problems faced by girls and women. Whether at demonstrations on the streets or on talk shows, Sister Francisca leads the way and fights for her girls on Flores. In order to be able to represent their concerns in court and before state institutions, her community even enabled Sister Francisca to study law. The modest and initially shy sister could hardly imagine at first that she would raise her voice so often and so decisively in public.
Setelah itu mereka sidang, lalu kemudian
And then the order asked me to complete a special law degree. I wasn't very confident that I could speak loudly at all. I wasn't used to it. At that time, I didn't have the courage to speak in public.
Bicara, karena saya tidak biasa, saya tidak punya keberanian untuk bicara di depan umum waktu itu.
Sister Francisca emphasizes how well the cooperation with missionaries worldwide works. TRUK-F is not only a project of the missionary sisters, but also of the missionaries. Donors to the mission office of the SVD missionaries in Germany support TRUK-F and thus make the work on site possible. Father Xavier Alangaram, the head of the mission office in Germany, visited the project himself.
I love my work here with my children, and I also feel that the SVD missionaries support us very much. This house, this facility, belongs to both religious communities, the men and the women.
Rumah ini, lembaga ini milik dari dua kongregasi ini.
The Mission Procure in Germany has already provided funding for the administration building and equipment. However, more dormitories and accommodation buildings are needed in various regions of Indonesia in order to help even more children and women. Wherever help is needed, wherever injustice can be eliminated, the missionaries want to take action. That is also the message of the Indonesian missionaries here in Germany.
That is our message. We are here. The fight is not over yet. Where there is injustice, violence, war, discord and discontent, we must continue to fight. We must stand by the people.
The girls have gathered in the dining room. Today is a photo shoot. A group photo is to be taken. The atmosphere is cheerful and somewhat excited, as is usual on such occasions. The fact that the girls and young women here fool around like teenagers is a matter of course. This carefree attitude is thanks to TRUK-F. The young women do not want to talk to us about their past, about what happened to them, but they do want to talk about their time at TRUK-F and about their future.
My full name is Maria Anila. My nickname is Aina. I'm very happy to live here at TRUK-F. Very, very happy. I have many friends here and everyone is loved and we can go back to school.
Ina already knows exactly what she wants to be.
I want to become a doctor. My name is Angelina Pali. I am now 22 years old and have been living here since I was 14. I am very happy to live here. It's like a cozy home. What I really like is that I have made friends from different regions here. But now I want to finish my studies and become a good teacher for the children. Because I am majoring in Catholic religion.